Okay, so good evening, guys, and thank you for joining us again today. We're going to run through another few questions this Thursday evening that you've been sending us around issues and questions around LGBT+. My name is Caelan. I am manager of Youth for Ireland, Cavan Monaghan.
My name is Niamh. I used to be part of the LGBT ally group. Now I'm a volunteer.
My name is Melissa and I work for Youth for Ireland, Cavan Monaghan on the Youth Information Project.
And my name is Barry. I am the LGBT youth worker for Cavan and Monaghan Rainbow Youth.
Okay, so thank you all for being here, guys. First question we got this week is from a parent. And she asks, I've suspected my son is gay for quite some time, but I don't know how to approach asking him about it. Every time I try, he just shuts me down. Any advice?
Okay. Well, I suppose from my experience of working with young people, it would be not to rush things. Like the young person needs to tell somebody in their own time. So it's not something that you can force somebody to come and tell you. It's when they're ready. So even though it sounds like this mother is, you know, quite accepting and open to him telling her that, he still has to work on it in his own time to actually tell her and for him to be ready. So that's what I would say, is just to kind of give it a bit of space, and just that he knows that kind of the place is a positive environment to say that. So like what's been said when things are on TV, or, you know, that she's saying positive things around LGBT stuff at home. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much on the button. When someone's closeted to their family, they generally come around in their own time, like most of us always did, like I did, and most of my friends did. You tend to you need a bit of time to work out when's the right time. And I think, yeah, it's the support you need to know that's in your household to be able to do it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like the journey is very personal and it takes a lot of time for every individual is different. One thing that we often would say as well is, like as Melissa was saying there, if you're watching TV, like, you know, reinforce the LGBT, that being LGBT is all right, that it's okay, that there's no problems behind it. And simple things you can do in the home are the likes of having literature, like the LGBT book that Melissa's group did a couple of years ago. Somebody has a sample of it there. Little things like wristbands, wearing a wristband. Again, things like that there let young people know that you're okay, you're ready to have a conversation around being LGBT, and that you're an ally. That's the most important thing, because a lot of times with young people, it's the fear, it's the not knowing, is it okay to tell this person? So that's that bit of advice I tend to give to parents. I also give to like school teachers and other youth workers if they're not sure. Little things like that are enough to let the young person know you're an ally and you're okay to talk about these things.
And Barry, you mentioned when you used the word ally there, it's a word that we throw around a lot. But I suppose some people probably hear it and aren't quite sure what an ally means, because there's so many words when it comes to the language of LGBT. What about ally then? What's that?
Well, an ally is basically a friend, somebody who supports somebody who would identify as being a lesbian, gay, bi, trans, or anything else under that spectrum, under that umbrella, but wouldn't necessarily identify as being lesbian, gay, bi, trans, or anything else under that umbrella themselves. To be honest, for myself, and I think the majority of young LGBT people out there, an ally is just as important and are part of our family, because they are the people who make us feel better about ourselves, who let us know that we can live and that we're accepted. And yeah, sorry, I'm running out of words.
Words you've used are very powerful. Melissa and Niamh, would you be happy enough with that description? I know, Niamh, you obviously contributed to this book, and ally is one of the words under A.
Yeah.
And that pretty much nails it down, Barry, in terms of what you said. It's someone who is actively supportive.
Yeah.
Right, guys. I'll hit you with question 2 then, and it comes in from a young person who has asked or sent us a message which says, "My friend came out to me this week as pansexual, but I don't know what that means. What's pansexual?"
I suppose I'll take that one. Pansexual is basically somebody who's not limited in their sexual choice. So gender or sex isn't an issue for the person. However somebody identifies isn't an issue. So if I was pansexual, male, female wouldn't be an issue for me. Similar to bisexual, but the difference would be that it also takes into acceptance or into consideration the other person's gender identity. So whether the other person is cis or trans, again, or intersex, all of that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You are attracted to the person and not the physical body.
Yeah, I'd agree with you definitely. Well, I'm pansexual, and that's literally it. It's
Thank God I got it right.
Yeah. It's the attraction to somebody, no matter what their gender, they binary, non-binary, trans, cis, whatever. It's more about their personality. You get what's the word? You form a relationship based on the person's personality more than what their gender is. Yeah.
And even like the word pansexual it's a relatively new over the last few years word that parents might hear their young people saying that I'm pan or my friend is pan. And like that in the last conversation, it's about actually just saying, oh, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And inviting the conversation, because the young person will actually be happy that you're interested and you're inquiring about it. Because even as a worker, I don't know all of the different terms, and I have to ask the young people, explain to me more about that. And when I do that, they're really happy that I want to know and I'm interested.
Yeah.
So you can have those conversations. I don't feel like so intimidated by all the different words. They're just words.
And I know, Barry, you've talked to me in the past about sometimes when young people would use language to you, you would often say, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, that these words can mean different things to
being pansexual. Like I could identify as being pan and Neve could identify as being pan, and there might be slightly different meaning for me as an individual. And again, it's taking the individual into account. It's not about all the labels and all the terms. It's about the individual and what these terms actually mean to that person and accepting that person for who they are. That's essentially it when it comes to any label that we have in any walk of life.
Yeah, I think you're right. It transcends LGBT language and probably fits into everything. And just when we're talking about pansexual, I was flicking through this book yet again, and I see that under P, that's one of the words that's dealt with. So just on that, Melissa, I know just because these two questions do relate to the A to Z of LGBT, which you would have produced with your group, Neve, and with that group. So if someone wanted to get their hands on that, how would they go about that?
Yeah, well, we still have a good few copies of the book. So if they wanted to email me, and we could try and get them out to them if it was a bigger group. But also we have it as a PDF, and we could get it onto the website. Okay. So we have a new website called ywimonaghan.ie. So it's not on it at the moment, but I just fished it out today, and we could send it to be processed and put on the website. But they can also send me an email and we could try and post it out to them.
Brilliant. And I know, look, the website and your email aren't on the live stream, but once this video goes up after we finish live streaming, we'll get the website and we'll get your email into the bio beneath, and we'll get some of your details, Barry, as well, into the bio beneath. Okay. Right, guys, that's kind of, those were the two questions we had sort of identified. One other thing I wanted to chat to you about when I've got you is obviously this year's Dublin Pride is not going ahead. And I wanted to get your feelings and your thoughts on that, especially, I suppose, in light of or through a lens of how that will impact on young people from Cavan Monaghan.
Yeah, I did bring this up with the National Network meet every Friday through Zoom, like everybody else. And we actually discussed Pride and the fact that it's not going ahead at last Friday's meeting. Now, what they were saying was there is talk about an online Pride. And this is actually, the plans are to make it more global. So yes, it's going to be online. It's not going. You're not going to have the parade. You're not going to have all of the buzz that's going on around the world. I hope that wasn't me buzzing. But there is going to be something, and hopefully, like starting in New Zealand and working the whole way across the world through the different time zones throughout the day, that it'll be a sort of 24-hour event. Again, it's all very new, and all of this is still being planned. There is other talk as well of possibly doing something within the different youth organisations across Ireland to sort of mark Pride as well. But again, all these plans are sort of just been formulated since Pride has been cancelled last week. So there's potentially going to be something. It's not going to be a big Pride parade in Dublin, but we will mark it in some form or fashion. And then hopefully whenever restrictions are lifted, there might be a possibility of some local events whenever we're allowed to come together again.
Yeah. Melissa and Niamh, do you have anything else to add?
I mean, it's going to be devastating not being able to go out and be able to just, I suppose, be you for the one little time in the year that you can be. But once that they do something like that, even if it is globally, even if it's something like this, even it is important that we do it.
What I find fascinating as well is the rainbow has been used in all of the symbols of hope around the world at the moment. When we're thanking our NHS, when we're thanking the HSE, when we're thanking all these agencies, it's the rainbow that's been used. So I think the LGBT community should be proud that the rainbow is everywhere now. And whether it's intentional or not, we're being represented, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Again, Dublin as well, they intend flying the Pride flags all over Dublin like they always do. It just won't have the marches. And maybe that's something we can push our local representatives as well, to see if that is flown locally, because it doesn't really happen in the Cavan Monaghan area. Maybe that's something that we can put out to our local representatives.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So
Definitely food for thought and something to be worked on there.
Also,
yeah,
Pride was supposed to fall on my birthday this year, so I'm very disappointed. I was going to party like no other year.
That was amazing. Your cup just sort of zoomed in from space there.
I know, it's like
like you're some sort of wizard, Barry. Yeah,
I am.
Right, guys. That's really it for this week. I think we're aiming to be back here at 5:30 again next Thursday. So anyone else or anyone out there at all with any LGBT related questions, you can send them to Barry at Cavan Monaghan Rainbow Youth. That's not an email. That's your project, Barry.
No,
so
info@camry.ie.
There we go. info@camry.ie. We'll get that in the bio below this video. Likewise, you can contact any of the Youth Book Ireland social media, and you can contact Melissa's email. Is going to be in the bio below as well. We're back tomorrow, Melissa, I know, with a few other workers to answer questions on SUSI, Student Universal Support Ireland. But guys, thank you very much. I see we have quite an active group watching us there at the moment, which is excellent to see. Thank you all for tuning in as well. And this went a lot better than last week, didn't it, Barry?
It definitely did, yes. Yeah. No karate classes or anything happened this week.
No karate classes, but luckily someone's phone did go off in the middle of it, and it went off when you said the word buzzing, which was great.
Yes, and can I just say though, Caelan, again, please. I actually have had a number of new young people coming in contacting the service this week. One message that I want to push out, and I know you guys are doing it all the time, as am I. It's very difficult in lockdown at the moment, but you're not alone. Don't be afraid to call out, reach out to the likes of myself or Youth Work Ireland, because it's really important to all of us that you feel safe and secure in your home environment, that you feel included. And I know it's extremely difficult, but please make sure and reach out for help if you need anything. That's why we're here. I'm on leave at the moment, but I'm still carrying my phone. So, and I think every other youth worker in the country is doing exactly the same. So reach out, ask for help if you need it.
Absolutely, Barry. And I know that was one of the big things that we talked about last week before we cut off, is the fact that your service is there, we are there. You contacted me during the week, actually, just when I think about it, and mentioned the LGBTI text line.
Yes.
So
I will include them in that number. There is a text line that is dedicated for LGBT young people. You text the word LGBT to a dedicated number, which we'll include in the bio underneath after this video goes or is finished. But just text if you have any LGBT related questions and you're under stress, text them. You've got the Smartens, you've Child Line, you've Teen Line, you've so many others. You're not alone.
no, you're not. Guys, thank you very much, and I will see you again next week.
Bye.
Yes, thank you very much.